Welcome to Shift Inside, episode number 26. Today, I had the best discussion ever with our guest, Sami. And okay, I need to tell you something before we move on. Actually, that's the first time I forget to record the introduction right after the episode. Because usually I record the podcast, I record the conversation, and as I'm still in the flow, I record the introductions straight away. I forgot to do it this time. The good thing is, as I'm recording now, we just recorded the second episode with Sami. So I'm in the flow, I'm in the energy, I'm in the same mood, just wearing different clothes. And it's not the same day as the conversation you will listen to. Still, that was a beautiful one. We talked about okay, I had to come back to the episode and check, okay, what did we talk about? Because that was already a few weeks ago. And I remembered that we talked about subconscious beliefs. The real work that it takes to rewire your subconscious beliefs. And not the superficial work that so many people tell you about, like with the mantra and the... How can I say that? I don't want to say that there is real work and fake work. In the end, it's really how you do it, the intention you put in doing the inner work. And in this conversation with Sami, we highlight this deep work that needs to be done so that you free yourself. And the idea as well is that you're able to do it by yourself. We don't want to be here, and both of us actually, and that's what I really like with her, is that we like not to have to hold your hand the full time your whole life, like you're dependent on us. No, we want to give you the tools so that you can do it yourself, so that you can access your inner world yourself, rewire your subconscious belief yourself, and that you don't need us. Of course, having a mentor, having a space where you can lean in is amazing as a way to learn at first, and then as a way to remember and go deeper and deeper. Still, in the end, you are the one leading the show. You're the one doing it. And you are the one having access to your truth. It's not about us telling you what you need to do. It's about us giving you the tools, the way to access your truth so that you know what you need to do or not do. And that's the whole point of this conversation, is to bring you back into your own shoes, back home within, and learn how to do it yourself with your subconscious beliefs, how to process your emotions, and do the real work. And again, what I mean with real work is the work that will make you go from, oh, I know I'm present, I know I should accept myself and I love myself and to actually genuinely feeling it and loving yourself for real. Like, you don't even have to chant the mantra anymore because this is ingrained in you. This kind of, it's a different level, right? It's a different level of embodiment. So that's what today's episode is about. I let you enjoy the conversation, and I invite you, like for all episodes, to open your heart, really sit with us, take part of the conversation. It's not because we recorded and now you're just receiving that you cannot participate to the conversation. And if you feel you want to hit pause and speak your truth, and if you feel like there is something you want to add to the conversation, please do so on social media. Come chat with us. Let us know what resonated, what did not. Let us know if you have questions. And please, take your space to the table and have that conversation with us. We really appreciate. So I thank you in advance for that. And I let you enjoy the ride. Okay, welcome Sami to Shift Inside. I'm so grateful to have you here. Finally, we talked behind the scenes already a little bit and already through Telegram before, like, to plan that session, like that podcast. And yeah, I feel like today we're gonna go pretty deep in the subconscious mind, deep into the actual real work, like why some people say, if you shift your belief that from I'm not good enough to I'm good enough, it's going to work. Well, no, there is a bit more, there's a bit more work to do. And so, yeah, we're just going to go very, very deep on the actual work and what you need to do to actually create a change in your life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm super excited to have you here, and I will let you introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you so much, Maureen. I am so excited to be here with you and your community and share all this stuff, just helping everyone live happier lives, like, one listen at a time. So yes, I'm Sami, and to sum up my very long story that we could, talk about forever, I came from a house that had a bunch of child abuse in it. So as a kid, I had told myself that I was going to grow up, become an adult, and live a beautiful effing life. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on here. So I'm going to
You're
live a
allowed.
beautiful life. And I have. And so before having kids, I was like, oh, I don't know anything about being a parent. I definitely know what I don't want to do, but like, what do I want to do? So I went down this rabbit hole of psychology, child psychology, human psychology, presence, and that turned into the subconscious and really deep diving into why we are the way that we are and the way that we believe things and the way that we see the world and how we can literally change our world and our day, even if the circumstances in our day aren't changing. And so then I had my babies, and my second one, I had a really tough second postpartum, which led me down this. I thought I was pretty healed. And of course, like, we're always healing, right? We're never like fully healed. I'm like, I was thinking, oh, I've done it. Like, I'm here. Life is great. Like, everything is so great. Yeah, there's some hiccups, but it's good. Then my second postpartum hit, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's this whole world that I haven't even dove into, all of these lenses and these lies I've been living through that just haven't had a chance to like bubble out yet. So I went down the deep rabbit hole, diving even more into the things that happen to us, the stories that they create, the lenses that they put on us, then how we have to make them true, and all of this, which I'm sure we'll talk about. And that really led me on this journey of healing. And I came out of it and I was just like, moms need to know this because of course, like I'm a mom and so I'm very much in the the realm of early motherhood. And I'm like, all the moms need to know this because most of us are sitting there with all these stories. And how amazing would it be if we're able to find our inner power and heal ourselves and just truly enjoy our experience? It can be fun, it can get really easy. And then in doing so, our kids grow up knowing more about the subconscious mind and knowing that we're not perfect and we may say something and they might get a belief, and just having the conscious awareness to be able to walk them through it, and then they can be adults that are just really enjoying life a lot more, and just the trickle down effect that that will have. So that has now been my mission to do that and just help sprinkle that everywhere.
That's so amazing. That's so amazing. And if you're listening, whether you're a mom or not, a dad or not, it works for everyone because we're talking about the subconscious mind and the deep, deep, deep rooted fears and beliefs that we all hold. And here, in that case, you decided to help moms. But honestly, this episode is going to help you either
Everyone.
way because you're a human. I
Yeah.
mean, or tell me if you're not. But if you're a human, you have the consciousness, you have a subconscious mind, you have
Yeah.
traumas, you have a nervous system, so that's definitely going to work for you. And actually, the question I have coming right now for you is that, um, how did you? I mean, yeah, you had this very intense postpartum experience
Mhm.
that made you see like the other side, like, oh my god, there is something deeper, like there
Yeah.
is something more to explore. And how could you translate that for like to someone who is on their healing journey and they're like, but I'm doing the work, so how do I know that there is still more to explore?
Yes. Okay, so this is where it can get like, it can almost get mind-boggling. Like, have you ever stopped to like think about what does infinity mean? And you're like, and as you like think about it more and more, you're like, holy crap, I can't think about it more because like my brain just can't hold it. So I think about this with the subconscious mind too. It's like essentially an infinite space that everything and anything can be created and held. And the fact that then we are conscious beings, there's a part of our brain called the RAS, and I can't remember what it stands for at the moment, but essentially it's a piece of our brain that like filters every single bit of information and finds the truth to the belief that we have and projects it into our life and into our field and like the lens that we see everything through and absorb everything through, and we can't get rid of that. So there, like, essentially it's saying that there is always a belief, and some beliefs serve us and make us feel happy and cool, like that's amazing. Some beliefs don't, well, they do serve us. All beliefs are serving us to keep us safe, but some of them don't make us feel happy, and they may make us feel all these other emotions, and like we're humans, so we're going to feel all these things. But if you're sitting there in life being like, I'm doing the healing, I'm doing the work, understanding that there are so many layers, and it's like not only layers like an onion, but also kind of layers like garlic. Like you've got all these cloves with all these layers, and you might find one layer and you're like, cool, I just healed from this micro trauma that made me think that I make mistakes. So I've been like hyper vigilant about making sure I'm a straight A student, A plus worker, all of these things. And in your mind you might be like, these aren't bad things, and no one's going to argue with you, that being an A plus student and A plus worker, showing up on time, never making a mistake, is a bad thing. But then if you were to like sit with your soul, like that essence of your soul, and be like, oh gosh, like that's just a lot of pressure, like I wish I could make a mistake. I'm kind of veering off topic here. What I'm trying to say is anyone that is in this healing process, just understanding and knowing that there's always a story, there's always a lens we're looking through. We can't possibly, because of the beings that we are and the consciousness that we have, we can't live in that subconscious infinite world. So there has to be some kind of meaning we're putting on life always. And because of that, there's always some kind of level of healing that you can do until, we're all chasing that enlightenment. But is that enlightenment actually 100% possible as a human? I mean, I don't know. Maybe in the future, maybe someone's reached it. I don't know. But for the most part, it's always like steps, layers, chunks that we're removing to try to reach that. But we're still in this constraint of like the human body and the conscious mind with the
Yeah.
subconscious mind. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I see what you mean, and that's why also I feel like, I have this approach of seeing things because we are both, the human and we are also the multidimensional being. And that was so crazy because I had a conversation with my sister, and this is how that came, because
Yeah.
she was going through like a very, very tough time, and we had this sort of discussion that you almost feel like not enlightened, but you feel the vibe was so different.
Lighter. Yeah.
Yeah, loving those discussions. And actually, what we found out that, like, the way I was explaining her is that, yeah, there is all the healing, like all the peeling process, going into the trauma, and you really go down the healing, like the rabbit hole, let's say. And there is also, like, the way where you connect directly with your core essence, with
Yeah.
your light, with your love, your joy, and you realize that there is nothing wrong with yourself. There is nothing to fix at all, and you
Mm.
are already there and connected in this whole being. And I feel like people are like either stuck in one, like only healing and forgetting about living, or is there like this very high spiritual trying to elevate your vibe and you just gaslight a big part of yourself. Mm.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's also the thing, because with healing in general, we realize like, there are so many layers and it feels like it's infinite and never ending.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. And you can also be whole and complete at the same time. Like it's about holding both,
Yes.
actually.
100%. And I think that's where some of that joy comes in, where you could be like, I am so happy and love myself where I am right now. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. And also, yes, I am completely perfect in this moment. It's like definitely
Gosh.
that the two. And yeah, and being okay with that. Because you're right. I think some people do like get stuck. And I know I was this person. Like I realized this last year, actually. I was talking to my husband and I was like, you know what? I just like realized that I have been on this personal development journey for years and years. And again, no one is going to say personal development is bad. But that little reason that I was doing it was because I wasn't good enough yet. I didn't know enough yet. I still needed to reach that enlightenment. I had a lot to heal. There's more and more and more. And I realized that and was like, oh my gosh, And like you can just, it's almost just like you're shedding that belief and realizing that that's not true. And now I still love personal development and learning more. And it's not because I need it. Now it's because it's just a joy and it's fun to learn more. But knowing that I'm perfect right here, right now, and I don't need that because I'm good now, but I enjoy that. So it's just like that subtle energy change. It's just very subtle, but it like makes a world of difference.
It makes such a huge difference. Actually, we had a conversation with a guest as well on this podcast. That was my first guest actually on the podcast, and we talked about all the healing journey and the traps also that people fall into in the healing journey. And that's the thing actually. Like, you don't mind also taking the notification
Oh,
out
I'm sorry.
because I can hear the yeah. I mean,
Can you
it's
hear
fine.
it? Okay,
Just so we
sorry.
don't have them like for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
what's getting
but yeah,
notified.
but in the end, it's just like it's so easy to fall in the trap that because you want to be a better person, you there are so many people doing all the healing, the personal development, but then the problem is that at some point it becomes a condition of being good, and you do it because you believe deep down that you're not good enough. And if you don't do all the personal development, the spiritual, like the meditation, all the stuff, then you're going to be a bad person and that you're going to miss out on something bigger or not get enlightened. But the thing as well is that wanting to be enlightened is actually that's such the wrong way in the sense that you try to force something into happening.
Yeah.
I still hear you. Yeah. And so basically, this won't work. And I don't remember where I listened to that, but if you try to force enlightenment, if you're looking for enlightenment, it cannot happen because this is still the ego looking for something and pursuing something. And so it's the same. It's always like what I like to say, it's not the what, it's the how. It's always the intention behind what you do. Always. Because when
Always.
like you can do the same thing, around healing or around the personal development journey, both like you can do meditation for example, but if one is doing it in order to become a better person, well, then you're like really compensating. But if you do it because you genuinely enjoy it and you feel like how good it makes you feel, and you're not looking for an end result but you do it for the sake of doing it, this is very different.
Yeah. It's so true. Oh, I think, yeah, and I hope all of your listeners can walk away with that feeling that it's just subtle. It's subtle. And it's not
It's
even that you
subtle.
need to do the work. It's just acknowledging, yeah, that you said that so beautifully. I love that.
Thank you. And I like that you speak about the subtleties because for me, at some point, it comes down to the subtleties. Because at first, okay, we start the journey, it's like all big and wide, and like, oh my God, you just open the curtain and you're like, oh my God, there is such a big world behind. And then you go in all the ups and the downs and the traps and whatever makes sense. And then at some point, and I feel like this is also to circle back to the question I asked at the beginning, like how do you realize that there is more to heal and you can go like deeper in the journey. And I feel like this is where it comes to the subtleties.
Yeah.
Like it's not just the big thing, it's just like I feel like we're always circling, oh,
Mm.
I learned something, and then I forget again, and I do a mistake again, or like not a
Yes.
mistake, but I fall in the trap, and then I come back to the lesson, but with a deeper
Yeah.
knowledge. There is something deeper that landed, and again you go on the journey and you learn the same lesson, but it integrates in such a deeper level, and it all comes down to the subtleties in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to put it too, in that you learn something and then you hear it from somebody else and you're like, I already know that. So then your subconscious is like, I already know that. Boom, not important, pushing it out. But when we can stay in that space of like, oh, thank you. That's a great reminder. Thank you. Like, oh, yeah, I love that. Yes, I agree with that too. Let's like talk about that more. We can really integrate it into our system a lot
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, definitely. Like what I joke with myself and I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I forgot. Life, I forgot. Oh yeah, I'm just a human living on planet Earth. Oh yeah, true.
It's so true. Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, my brain is just trying to keep me safe. So all my brain is doing, all my subconscious is doing is like finding dangers. So like, of course it's not remembering that. But yes, that's true. Thank you.
Yeah, no, exactly. And also like so what comes up, like I have another question, like for
Yeah.
people who are listening and maybe not so much into like this deep healing journey, and
Yeah.
it can look like not impossible, but like very hard and challenging. And because we are both into this work, we know it's not. It's pretty simple. It's just that deciding to do it is the actual challenge. But
Yeah.
what would you recommend for people listening,
Yeah.
like if they wanted to really do it for themselves, because we're both
Yeah.
like, for us it's really important that people get the tools to actually move on and they can actually
Yeah.
work with their subconscious mind themselves,
Absolutely.
which I find is like super potent, because I mean we can dive deeper into that later, but being guided is amazing for certain topics, but for certain others I feel like having this intimacy with yourself and be able to and handle that and really hold yourself through that is super 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 potent.
Oh,
So what are the keys, what would you recommend for someone who's like,
yeah.
I'm gonna go all in, I'm gonna check in with my subconscious mind?
Yes. Oh, I love it. Okay. So first I would love to say one of my favorite, I don't, not even a mantra, but kind of just like a life motto, I guess, is that nothing matters. And I say this in the most freeing way. So I would love people to listen to this as a nothing matters. And maybe it feels good, maybe it doesn't. If it feels good, like soak it in. For me, it feels really good to be like, nothing matters. The sun is going to come up tomorrow. The earth is still circling. Winter is going to come. The leaves are going to fall. The ocean is going to do its thing, like, and none of that stuff cares if I had a good day or a bad day. None of it cares if I paid my bills or didn't pay my bills. Like, and for me, then you could be like, yeah, for me personally, some things matter, but for like a special looking at things, like nothing really matters. So if nothing really matters, how do I want to feel every day? Like, I want to go to bed feeling like I did the best I could with the information I had today. I tried, for me, like, I tried not to hurt anyone and I just enjoyed my day. Did I laugh? Did I smile? Did I have fun? Did I savor some tasty foods? Like, none of it matters. So why not go to bed feeling a little bit better? So I wanted to start with that because our nervous system, our subconscious mind is here to keep us safe. Biologically, it wants us to stay safe, to procreate, to keep our species going. So its whole thing is, are you safe or are you not safe? It's literally like, zeros and ones, safe, not safe, all day long. That's all it's doing. And then it's categorizing and saving that information. And then it's like projecting it onto current events, even though they're very different than past events and all of this stuff. And what I like to tell people is that when we're feeling in that like happy space, it's usually because we're safe.
No
And
worries, we'll just keep it.
I'm sorry, I thought I turned
No,
them all off. I'm gonna have to figure out how to turn them all off.
no worries, it's fine.
Okay,
Again, we're
guys.
human, not perfect, it doesn't matter.
And
The
I'm
sun
like,
is still here.
I'm trying to, yeah, I'm sorry. Uh,
No,
just
don't
to
be
show, yeah,
really.
we're not perfect.
Exactly. And also, it doesn't matter, like for real. Before it would have bothered me, honestly, but because I did the work, like also diving straight,
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, fine, let's go with that. If we can't change that, chill. And
yeah.
also, really, it's so fun because you say that this is also one of my mantra, and I say like, that's why I was like, what? Are you serious?
Oh my
And
God, I
it's
love
like
that.
nothing matter, and because nothing matter, everything does because you
Yeah,
decide what matters in the end.
yes. Ah, love it. Yeah, so on that note, how
Mm-hmm.
do you want to feel? Like, I want to feel happy. And for our nervous system, when we're happy, when we're in that peaceful, content, rest and digest safe, that is, or a space that is safety for our bodies. So the more we can get into that safety, and being conscious of this, like being just conscious of when you feel good, your body is safe. And this is great. And when you're not feeling good, when you have rage, anger, guilt, sadness, shame, jealousy, just all of those, like what we would consider negative feelings, you can call them whatever you want to call them, but they're really just kind of flags that something is not in alignment for your safety. And a lot of that can be physical, it can be mental, then the subconscious comes in, but just keeping it simple to just bring it back to like as simple as we possibly can. When you have those feelings that don't feel good, that's your body telling you that there's something. So you could just start to notice, like, oh, I am feeling really sad right now. And you could be like, okay, what is actually making me feel sad? And you could say, oh, it's because my friend didn't text me back. And I just saw on Instagram that they went out with another friend to dinner. And you could be like, okay, that made me sad. And you can dive really, really, really deep into it. Or you could just be like, okay, noticing that there's a disconnect there because you're not now in this like resting state. Like now your body's saying that you're in risk of it being in danger, which means death to our body. So just simply you could say, okay, what am I making this mean about myself? And you could go down the rabbit hole if you want to, or you could just be like, clearly I'm making it mean something like, I'm not a good person, or they don't like me, or I'm rejected. And then you could just simply ask yourself, is this true? Like, just simply, is this true? No, it's not true. You could find so much evidence that this isn't true. You've hung out with your friend before, you have other friends, someone else did text you back, all of these things, you can find evidence to where that's not true. And just the simple act of being able to do that and be like, oh no, this isn't true, can start to help rewire
Mm,
without you having to do all the work. Like, and
yeah.
then you can sit there later and be like, when did this first happen? When did this feeling first occur? At what age? How did that turn into a lens that now I'm looking at life as if I don't matter and I'm rejected and people don't like me? And then you can start noticing all these things. And I don't even think you have to go through some crazy process. You could literally just be like, is it true? No, it's not true. And if I never could feel this again, like how would I approach my friends? How would I approach life? How would I do things? And just start living that way. Like it's a really simple, fast way to clear it. However, if you love this stuff like we do, like totally dive in deeper, like when was the first time it happened?
Yeah.
How is this affecting every area of my life? But you don't need to. You can just simply feel it, notice that it's a icky feeling, which means you're out of alignment and you're out of safety as far as the body's concerned. Where is it
Yeah.
coming from? Is
Mm-hmm.
it true? No. Okay. Cool. If you didn't feel this, like if it just vanished, how would you feel? Like most people would be like, "Oh, yeah, like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm fine. I'm just doing things. They're doing things." Like maybe I didn't text a friend back one day, not because I didn't like her, but because like I was pooping or like
For example, I was recording a podcast.
yeah.
No, yeah, I so agree because sometimes people make such a big deal. And I remember when I first started to like more like introspect and go into my emotions, every occasion was the occasion to dive into why am I feeling that way and believing this and da 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 da. And I feel like this work is important, but I also realized that I used that work as a compensation not to feel the actual feeling,
Yeah.
and get really to the core and to the roots. That was like what was important at the moment was just to bring my body back into safety and feel the feelings I was avoiding. And
Yeah.
so yes, this work is super important. And I feel like this is when I call it like, there is the real time, real life. This is where you're like more using like the fast methodology, like going into the feelings, acknowledging what's happening, if there is some truth or not, or like like just checking in with yourself, like for example as you said. And
Yeah.
then there is this moment where you decide to really carve time out for yourself and to dive deeper, because especially if you see that there is a recurring situation, something coming back again and again and again in your life, and you still feel the same way, it means that there is really something that needs some processing. There is a part of you, inner child, most likely, transgenerational stuff that are coming back up and that you really need to address. You need to put awareness on that and feel probably the deeper feelings, access those past trauma. And this is when you need to carve out the time. And that's something that you can do alone. You can do journaling. There are so many amazing modalities out there. You can also get guided, get some help, because I honestly, and I say that I'm also a healer, and I know that for some of my feelings, I need to be held as well by another healer, and that's fine because we're human. And
Yes.
so those like real-time processes, what I even want to add there is that like actually the feeling of safety, this is so important, because when your body, when your nervous system knows that you're safe to feel, then you're already going to start like regulate again. And then there is no magic trick, sorry, there is no magic pill here. But it's about feeling the damn feeling.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
being with it all the way. This is literally the thing. Yeah. Still
Yeah.
like fighting with the notification.
I'm trying to figure out how to turn them off. I'm sorry. I'm like about to Google how to do this.
No, but it's okay. Honestly, I really don't mind. Or if you close the window that has the
That's what I
thing.
did. That's why I'm like, I don't understand what thing is getting notified right now because usually it's my email and my emails are closed.
Mm. Or maybe this is a way to see like a real case example of like how do you feel right now?
Like, no, it's so true. And I'll tell you, like, how do I feel right now? I'm like a little anxious. Like, this is beeping more than it has ever beeped with me being on a call. I'm not even kidding. Like, and I'm like, how do I turn this off? I need to turn this off. People are hearing it. And I thought maybe if I turned the volume down, you couldn't hear it, but clearly you can still hear it.
But less. It's less strong. But it's fine. It's okay. And
Oh
here they will
man.
be, so for example, in this situation, this is like you being with your feelings and
Yeah,
witnessing what's present. And at some point, you're going to be like, do I stay in the anxiety or do I drop it? And am I like, okay, then it's fine. It is what it is, you
exactly.
know?
This
And
could be like
I'm
such a
fine
real
with
life
that.
thing, exactly, where I'm like, I'm in this anxiety. Why? Because I'm making it feel like I'm a really bad participant for you. And now I'm thinking, you're thinking that I am a really bad participant because you asked me to turn my notifications off. I couldn't do it. I'm not listening. I'm a bad human now. And you don't like me. And no one else is going to like me. And I could walk through the same thing. Like, I'm not going to go super deep because, we're on a podcast, but later on I can do this and be like, okay, I'm feeling this. Is that true about me? Am I a bad person because my notifications are going off and I don't know how to use my computer to turn them off? No. No one is going to say I'm a bad human because I can't turn off my notifications. Are they annoyed? Maybe, but it doesn't make me bad. It doesn't make them bad. So, okay, if I'm not bad, how would I feel? I'd be like, whatever, notifications are going off, and like, exhale. I feel a lot better. And later, I can dive into why it is I feel like, you know,
Like anxious. Yeah,
yes,
like, yeah,
yeah,
why is anxiety being
where
triggered
is
right
it?
here, right now?
Yeah,
But yeah,
and
but
most
now,
likely,
yeah.
yeah, inner child. Like, I'm sure we could go back to where parents said something that I needed to do something, I didn't do it right away, or I didn't know how, and then I got in trouble because I couldn't figure it out. And that means I'm not safe, which means I'm gonna die because my tribe doesn't want me and they're gonna throw me out. And now my nervous system is like, find safety, do anything you can. So yeah, I'm sitting here like Googling now, how do I turn off my notifications so that I survive?
This is so good, but now we understand why you had to have the notification. This is such a good example.
And this is like real life stuff because this happens when, like, and I think this is a good point to make because people think, oh, you get these feelings and you're healing because you had some kind of trauma in your life. Granted, this probably did stem from some kind of trauma, probably little t trauma. Like I said, parents said something to you, do something, you didn't do it or didn't do it correctly, didn't do it up to their standards. And now you're thinking that you're not a good enough person. So the rest of your life, you're trying to always listen and people please and do all the things. But most people, I think, oh, I had a normal childhood. I had a great childhood. I didn't suffer any big T trauma, so like I don't really have anything to heal from. But the thing is, like all of these are lenses that anytime you feel like that anxiety, the rage, the shame, the guilt, the depression, the sad, like any of those feelings always stem back from like something that happened that put something in your mind of what helps you feel safe, which is why some people like for me right now, like this beeping is giving me like anxiety to fix it for your podcast, where other people might be like, I don't care, it doesn't matter. And it's because our experiences were different. And so, yeah, like that's just a great way of showing that this stuff happens for normal everyday things. Like you're running slightly
Especially,
late for work, and now all of a sudden you think you're going to get fired, or just like a lot of and you wouldn't consciously think that that is a lens of a lie that you're portraying onto your world. You're just, that's just, yeah, this has actually maybe been a really good thing for this.
this is like honestly, this is the perfect thing for that. And to be very, very fair, like if we had done that at the beginning of my podcast, I would have felt like very annoyed and pissed, like because I was like really into the perfectionist kind of style, for my own trauma, my own reasons, and I would have felt like feeling. I remember, and honestly, to be fair, I don't feel it anymore here. That's why I'm super chill, because
Nice.
I'm just like, yeah, this
Whatever.
is just happening. It's fine, like whatever. But before, like even just a few months ago, I would have felt like really triggered and like, oh my god, what am I gonna do for the edition? Because I'm gonna have to suppress all of those noises. Da da da. And now I'm like, I'm just gonna keep it like this. Like this is staying.
Yeah.
And I even went from, oh my god, that's horrible, to, oh, that's amazing that it's happening because this is such an amazing example. Like,
Yes.
what? And this
What?
is something you can literally shift just by doing this actual work, like what
Quickly.
you
Like,
just
yeah.
shared.
We shifted it in what, a couple of minutes to now we're gonna like laugh instead of be like, now we're like, oh, there it is again, reminding us to like just chill out, that like it's fine. You're gonna survive. You're safe.
Exactly. You're safe. You're not going to be killed because of your notifications, running late at work, or not having done something exactly perfect or whatever. And the
Yeah.
notification, whee!
Yeah. Like, yep. Yep. Oh my gosh, this is
Exactly.
so
And so,
funny.
exactly. And it's way more, this is in, that's how you see that life is so much more simple
Yeah.
than what we try to make it, you know? Like we have all
Mhm.
those expectations in our mind and we still get caught up for, like in different situations. Like I have my situations where I'm like just losing it. And it's
Yeah.
fine, like, with patience or in
Yeah.
relationships, for example. And I feel like it's still always the same process again and again and again. Like just at first, oh, there is something happening in me, like
Yeah.
being aware of that. And then what do I do with that? Am I safe? Yeah, I'm safe. Okay, now what? Let's just feel it. And for me, I feel like even more than like what's really, really been mind blowing for me and completely like shifting the whole game was to actually just be with the feeling and be like, I see you. I
Hmm.
don't, not even trying to know where it comes from, if it's true or not, da 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 da. Da.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh
I
yeah,
feel
just
you.
like checking it with my inner meteor, like,
Yeah.
oh, that's here, that's present, fine, I'm okay
Yeah.
with you being here. Because what was really creating all the problems, and maybe that's the same, and you can relate and tell us what happened for you with this crazy notification
Yeah.
situation. But it's like when you reject what's happening inside of you, when you reject the feelings that you're actually feeling, this
Hmm.
is when it gets very, very challenging, because anxiety by itself is just anxiety and it's pretty easy to transmute. But when you start to resist it because you don't want to feel it, this is when things get very, very challenging. So I don't know if
Yeah.
this is also something that you had with the
100%.
notification.
One of the
Yeah.
biggest things I tell people is like releasing that resistance. Like, if you're living in a
Mm-hmm.
resistance, if you're trying to push it down, push it away, have it not be exactly how it is right now, you're creating suffering in your body and you're like prolonging it, where you could just be like, yes, I'm having anxiety right now because this dinger is going off every 2 seconds and I don't even know where it's coming from. Um, yeah, instead of just being like, yeah, that's happening, I feel it. Okay, let's release it. If I'm sitting there, like, if I spent this whole episode trying to Google, trying to do this, I'm now not present with you. I'm not having a beautiful conversation with you. I'm worrying about this dinger and what it means about me. And we've like just missed this beautiful moment when I could just feel it, release it, and then let it be. And I think that goes perfectly back to the very beginning of this when we were talking, and I was saying you would literally change your life. Your circumstances are not changing, but the way you see and experience life completely changes with this work. And whoever's listening to this can probably see this just based on our conversation, like from the beginning of notifications, turn those off. And I'm like, shit, I can't figure it out. To like, okay, they're happening in the background, and we can still have a beautiful present conversation with ourselves and not suffer through it.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and
it's
we
all about
even
that
turned it
resistance.
in. Yeah, and we even turned it into like an amazing example because that's literally real stuff happening real time, real life, you know?
Yeah.
So that was actually perfect. But honestly, it take to get there, it takes some time, and it's at the same time it's pretty simple. It's just
Mhm.
like the more you feel your feelings and the more you get, having when it happens in real life, be with yourself, allow yourself to feel how you're feeling. And in order for you to do that, I know that personally for me, I had to do a lot of work around, like, self
Yes.
love, self acceptance, loving
Yes.
myself, believing I'm a good person.
Yeah.
So much work, because to be able to feel your feelings, you need to feel safe doing so. And
Mhm.
those are as well some core rooted beliefs, you
Yeah.
know? Because
Yes,
it's not just like,
absolutely.
yeah, a few months, like a few years ago, I could never have done that, because feeling my feelings will be
It's
dangerous.
scary.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
super scary. So this is as well some work. This is, the, I don't know how to call that. This is like when we flip people's brain in like a pancake,
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
this is like the work that allows the work to happen, the
Yes.
underground.
It's so true. I like to kind of compare it to like triggers. So like we're all triggered by something, and then there are band-aids that we can put over it. You can do a quick breath work to remind yourself that you're safe and you come back to feeling safe. But if you're not it, and that's fine. Like some people are fine with like the band-aid just figuring out how to like calm the anxiety or whatever in the moment. But what's even cooler is when then you can work that and heal it to where that doesn't even trigger you anymore.
Yeah,
So,
we
like,
have the
and
whole
that's what
family.
yeah, and it's like that deeper work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that is so so true, and there are so many people. Oh, it's nice. We have everyone, the notification and the kid and
I know.
all of it. Everyone
All of it.
everyone is welcome. Let's just see how much we can surrender into
I
that.
know. I'm like, dog nails are on the floor, and they're like,
I
that video
heard
just
that as
started.
well. It's fine. I feel like this is probably the universe is like, notification, you did that. Now next.
Yeah,
Next
exactly.
level.
The universe is literally like, okay, so you guys are preaching about how you can be like chill in chaos. Let's see how you're actually chill in chaos.
Let's play. Let's play. I feel like
Oh,
we're doing pretty good. And also like
yeah.
laughter because also we are facing the real thing and for me this is also something that really 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 helps is like in because there's so many people try to just as you say, put the bandage. So they will do the breath work, the meditation, the somatic, whatever.
Yeah.
And for me, there is a layer when I'm having goosebumps. There is a layer that goes even deeper. And when it's
Yes.
like you see the bullshit and you dare to be like, yeah, I see you. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna try to fix you. You're here.
Yeah.
Surrender, dropping
Yeah.
the mic, going full with the feelings, what's happening, the actual
Yeah.
work, and not trying to fix it. I feel like the meditation, the breath work can come after that.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100% agree with you. Yeah. And then
Mm.
it's way more effective too. But yeah, then it's not a band-aid. You're not trying to resist because I think you're right. We can use some of these really great modalities as a form of resistance instead of a form of surrender.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and it's so easy to fall in the trap. Honestly, I have done that.
me
I can't
too.
even count the number of times. I'm still doing that, like
Always.
probably. Very likely.
Yeah.
And yeah, because we just want to feel good. In the end, we're humans, and what's the most important for us is, as you said, feel safe and feel good. We don't want to
Yeah,
feel bad. But the thing is that the any feelings, good or bad, are the
they're
doorways.
feelings.
Like it's the gateway to actually accessing who you truly are.
Yeah.
And that's why for me, like there are so many people who are having conflicts and in their relationships and breakups and like really hard things just because they don't dare to actually go into actual thing, like to be
Yeah.
real and raw and intentionally get there because we're trying to stay on the surface. But to me, the deeper we're able to go, and I've been able to really change my relationship with my mom. Like it's on its way. It's a process.
Yeah. Yay.
But by actually not letting us stay on the surface, but really going deeper and say the actual things, even if it feels scary, even if it feels like crazy, like just like this
Yeah.
notification example, because we were able to actually dive into the thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not so huge, but because you were able to realize like, okay, notification, I'm afraid of not being liked. That's
Yeah.
so real, that's so raw, and that's how you get out of it
It
because
is.
it's not a big deal anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, now, yeah, and we won't even hear it anymore. Like now it's like not even in our awareness because it's not scary. So it's not dangerous anymore.
Can you imagine
Oh,
the notification with a little weapon, like,
I think I like honestly, I feel like it was. I really think it was the universe being like, you guys are trying to talk about something to like help people, like show them. Show them how you do it
show
in
them,
real time.
show them. Well, I think like we passed it. I mean, okay, let's see what else is coming. But yeah, 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 no, I love that. And also, what I love is that you also really go deep into the layers because I feel like, and I had amazing conversation with so many people,
Yeah,
and I don't want to say that so that we can brag, but I mean, we can as well. But
yeah,
it's really rare to find people who it's like as if you're surfing really with life, but not 10,000 meters on top. Like you're really with life,
Yeah.
like getting it, like in the juice of it. I don't know
Ex-
how. I'm
yeah.
still having issues to really
Like
speak about
describe it.
that, to
Yeah.
describe it.
I like to, I tell people this too all the time, like, and you could take different examples. When I first heard it, I'll tell you how I like it, but then I'll tell you how I've heard it too, because maybe it'll resonate for a lot of people. But so I like to think of it as like a flashlight. Like our true essence is this flashlight, this beam of light that's like shining onto this wall. And then our other hand, we're doing like finger puppets. We're making finger puppets. And this is our like conscious, or this is our subconscious, is making these finger puppets for life, and it's displaying on the wall what our conscious is seeing. And a lot of people living just on that conscious level are like, oh, I don't want that bunny rabbit on the wall. I'd rather it be a dog. And so they're now trying to morph the wall, put different figures on the wall to make the wall resemble a puppy dog instead of realizing that it is this hand and we can change the hand. And that's more of like the subconscious. And we're sitting there working just with what the shadow puppet is doing on the wall. So that's how I like to think about it. But when in some of my training, I had heard it more like you're in a movie theater. And so, again, same thing, that beam of light is flowing out onto the movie screen, and you have the movie, the real, the little picture things that are like moving in
Mm,
front of it. And then that's casting this movie on the wall. And you're not liking the movie for whatever reason. Like, person's going down the scary hallway and a scary movie or whatever. And you're like,
they
oh, I don't
always
like
do
it.
that.
Yeah. So you pause the movie and you're trying to figure out how to change it and make them move differently, when really you could just like remove that movie and put a different movie in, or let the movie play out and put a different movie in. But we're trying to control like what it is that we're seeing in our 3D world versus the lens of that subconscious that is literally creating our 3D world. I don't know if that
Mm,
hopefully that
yeah.
makes some sense to people too. But
I hope
I
it
just,
does, but I fully get that. Like, I mean, honestly, I love to speak about things that are like really taking people's brain and challenging it, like
yeah,
challenging perceptions and flipping it like a pancake. I love that expression.
yeah,
But this is really the
yes,
thing, because I feel like when you really want to feel good in general, because let's be honest, this is all about feeling amazing.
yeah,
We're here to feel good. But in order to do that, you also need to go to the deep, deep, deep part of
yeah,
yourself. And it's about like seeing life in its complexity. It's about like literally for me it feels like you're opening up completely to
yeah,
all that life has to offer, and not just the good, but because you allow yourself to um, be so in touch with yourself. Like to me, what you're talking about is such a big level of intimacy with
yeah.
yourself. And when you're able to have that intimacy, and I'm going to host a masterclass, I mean, probably like when this episode is going to be out, the masterclass is going to be already done. But I'm talking about like owning our weird. And honestly, I feel
Hmm.
like what we're doing here, the way we're talking, this is like we're kind of here already. Like it's super
Yeah,
raw, and we allow ourselves to be in our weird. And I feel like the way I see you, you feel like, I mean, I can feel that you're radiating this confidence and you're here, and I'm really talking to you.
yeah,
Not just someone who's playing on a show or a performance.
yeah,
Like, this is really like your raw essence, and there are not so many layers. And it's okay not to
yeah,
show everyone our full self, but I feel like, and also that comes back to the first question, but how do you really feel that you are there, in your healing, even if it's a never
yeah,
ending thing? But when you know that there is more layers to cover, like to look into, this
yeah,
is where you go from performing, because there are so many people who are still performing, and I
yeah,
feel like here I'm talking to the real authentic you. You see what I
yeah,
mean? And it's like having the radar for bullshit and fakeness,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
can really feel it when I'm here with somebody fully.
yeah,
Notification or not, I
yeah.
can really feel like this is the authentic you, and you're showing me your real you. Like
Oh,
there are
thank
more
you.
parts, of course,
Yeah,
like I guess,
there's
of
always.
course, of
Yeah,
course. But there are, like, from conversation I had with other people, I can feel like it's almost, I can barely see who they really are. Like they're not
yeah.
really fully letting me see and
Or
inviting
the
me.
world. And they're
Yeah,
probably,
and
that's
the
like a
world.
lens that they're looking at. They're probably thinking that like they're not safe in this world to be who
Mm,
they are. And I think that's work
mm,
in itself. And I think that's a huge one for a lot of people,
so many
especially
people.
growing up in our generation of you're not really ever safe to be who you are because your parents expect you to be seen and not heard or do this or be, all of the things. So yeah, and then that plays out when yeah, you're meeting people and you can't really be like who you are with them because you don't feel safe. And yeah, it's such a
Mm.
beautiful thing when you can release that and be like, I am safe. Like, and I want everyone to feel that and just like joyfully share life with everyone that they like come in contact with.
Gosh,
Ah,
yes, yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. And you feel it's like so much easier. Like having that conversation is just a flow, and you feel nobody's performing. We're here with
Yeah.
like life as it is, with what's happening inside of us just as it is. And you can feel like again, I don't have the words to
Yeah.
describe that. You can just feel like, okay,
You
we
feel
are
it.
here. We're
Yeah.
just here. We're where we have to be.
Yeah. We're
Like we're
like present.
present.
We're so
More,
present right now. And it's
yeah.
okay like in how we are right now. I love that. I always think about I think what's helped me become more present, and maybe this will help other people too, is that change is inevitable. Like we're always going to change and growth is inevitable. I'm always going to grow.
Hmm.
I know I'm going to continue to heal. And so I don't really need to focus on that because then that puts me in the future of what next, what next. And I could just right here, right now, I'm here with you, I'm talking and I did grow a little bit because now I don't care if my notifications are going off. And like that may seem really small, but like it's also a kind of a big thing too.
This is a big
Like
thing.
we're growing in the present moment all the time. And that's helped me a lot, like not having to focus on, well, what do I need to change next? How do I need to grow? Especially as a mom, like, how can I be a better mom? How can I raise them better? How, there's just so many things to be better and better and better, which tells your subconscious mind you're not better, you're not good enough, and it's just like like feeding that wheel of
Mm,
like
yeah,
chasing.
yeah, this is so true. And this is again like what we were sharing a bit before in the previously in the podcast. Like the more you're trying to chase for something, the
Yeah,
further you make it go from you. It's just kind of like this pull push energy, like you're pushing it
yeah,
further away because you try to get it. But when you allow yourself to surrender into life, who you are,
yeah.
this is how you attract incredible things for yourself. Like, for example, I've been chasing clients. Like, I can say it
Yeah,
chasing, like I've been really wanting them to come
yeah.
here.
Like
And
desperate,
since,
like, come on.
like, yeah, exactly, trying everything. And now, since I took a job, and because I'm now in that like pull energy, like, now I'm safe, I have
Yeah.
five more clients now. I'm
Yeah,
like,
see,
what?
isn't it crazy how that works? But when
It's
you're not like
crazy.
desperate, like I need it, you can't think like, and I get it in this world we live in. If you're like, I need to pay bills, I need to go to, I need to do all these things because I need to feed myself, I need to feed kids, I need to feed dogs, whatever, pay bills, I need a house. You're like living in that energy. And as soon as like, because yeah, you got a job, and the same thing happens with me too. I'm like, oh, I'm safe, like things are getting taken care of and then yeah, like life just starts to pour in. It's just easy. Oh, I love that for
Yeah,
you too. I
it's
love
so
it.
true. And if we dive, thank you. And
Yeah.
if we dive also in this layer thing, because there are many people in the industry who are speaking about being delusional, and
Oh
going
yeah.
into the energy. And when you are in the energy of like be do have, you are the
Yeah.
person before you have it. And
Yeah.
if you are very like this is where you need to be honest with yourself because for some people it works, they're really
Mhm.
able, I would even say like to lie to themselves, but in a good way, to make
Yeah.
them like go into a higher timeline. Amazing. I'm not that
Yes.
person. And I
Yep.
had to be honest with myself, radically honest. And I feel like this is where the work we're talking about, and it's not just the work we're talking about, but the philosophy of life, the approach
Mhm.
of living, where we're just like damn honest with ourselves. I feel like this is where it's really helping because
Yeah.
I had to be that honest to realize that, okay, my subconscious mind doesn't believe any words.
Yeah.
My nervous system doesn't believe like what
Yeah.
I'm saying, and my nervous system is like, go get a job, girl. I need
Yeah.
money, real money to come in the bank account so I can release. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to accept that. And
Yeah.
even if that was hard to swallow for my ego, who was like, I can be the one,
Yeah.
playing with the energetics. I can be that person who becomes the
Yeah.
person. Well, no.
But now you're safe. Like now you're safe enough to play with the energetics and to, now you could play in the be do have because you feel safe.
Exactly,
And
but I had the feeling
yeah.
that I could do that before
until you
feeling
feel
safe,
safe.
that I could,
Yeah.
that I could
Yeah.
trigger, because it's easy to trigger a feeling. Like
Yeah.
if I ask you, how would you feel if the love of your life comes with like flowers or whatever, and you're like, oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
you feel good about that. It's easy to trigger a feeling, but then it's
Yeah.
about holding it on the long run, and this is where the
Yeah.
trouble comes. So
Yes.
having a job is helping me keep it like
Yes.
on the long run.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
no.
I love that. I was going to ask you how you maneuvered that, but you just told me. So, because I know, like for me, I really like being in my mind, and my imagination is one of my most favorite places, and it has been since I was a kid. And
Girl, we're so the same.
so for me, it's like really easy to like get to the subconscious layer to be like, oh, I do remember this time actually that my mom made me feel replaced by my sister, which made me feel like I wasn't good enough. And that's why I'm acting this way. Okay, cool. Vanish, done, dissolve. So if I can't access that feeling anymore, how would I feel? What would I do? And then I could proceed from like that space. And so that's easy for me to do in my mind, but I know that's harder for other people, and other people have to release energy like more somatically, or and that's why it's great that we have all these different modalities. So yeah, when you said that, I was like, oh, tell me like how, because I yeah, like it's easier for me to like get deep in there and like have that conversation with like my little child self or whatever, and be like, I'm an adult now. I don't know if you've heard of IFS. I love IFS. It's called Internal
Uh,
Family Systems. It's essentially
uh-huh.
like we have all these different parts of us, like the angry part, the happy part, the guilty part, and all these are like usually instances that happened in your life at some point that got stuck in that feeling because of something that happened, and we put meaning on it and all of this. And so like chatting with those parts that are like, oh, you're scared if I do this, why? Oh, because you still think I'm 7 years old, but actually, no, like I'm not. How old am I?
Mm,
36 and married with two kids, and we have money coming in to pay bills and groceries. So, like, I can go and do this. Kind of just, I can do all that in my mind really quickly, and it's really fun. But I know other people are like, I need to release the energy from my body. I need to do some stomping, some dancing, some EFT, some just all the other things. And so I
gosh.
love that like you listened to
Yeah.
yourself. Like you dropped in and listened to yourself and was like, I need to get another job. Cool. Now I can play with what's fun, and like now you're doing it and it's amazing.
Yeah, this is, oh gosh, I love that we're having that conversation, because I'm like, oh, I have somebody in front of me who understands me. Because I'm
Love that.
also like, and I don't know who relates. Like, actually, I would love to know. I'm super curious. Like, if you're listening and you literally relate with what we're saying, and I mean,
Yeah.
if you're like, they're crazy, what are they talking about? Tell us as well. But the thing is, like, for me, this is the fastest way, and this is also what I mean with like owning who you are so deep and being radically honest with yourself. This is
Yeah.
when you are able to have like that inner dialogue with yourself, like access
Yeah.
all the parts, because it's no longer a big deal. And I feel
Yeah.
like in the healing industry there are so many, like, so many rituals, like all the
Yeah.
modalities, they kind of become rituals, and then it's all about the ritual and
Yeah.
the actual somatic practice and all the stuff,
Yeah.
whereas you could just, talk with the part, like, and go
Yeah.
directly there and see what's present.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
not like try to hide them. Just be like, I see you. Like you said earlier, like
Yeah.
I feel this. I feel you. It's happening. I'm not going to try to get rid of you. Like, let's just understand. Like, listen. And then you listen and it's like, oh, it dissolves. Just like any of us. Like,
Exactly.
if you listen to me in a problem, with the problem, like, I'm going to feel a lot better. If you're like, you have a problem, I can't deal with you, that's not going to make me feel better.
No, definitely not. Like, no. No, and this is so true. It's just like those parts of us, whatever is happening inside of us, it's just like that was for me really helpful in my healing. They
Yeah.
just need attention. They need love. They
Yeah.
need to be seen, felt, understood.
Yeah.
Not necessarily understood, but like at least held, in our presence
Yeah.
and loving presence. And this is what helps me go from the resistance to actually being
Yeah.
with them. And when we are with them, well, guess what? Exactly as you said, the fear, the harsh feelings, like let's say the
Yeah.
uncomfortable feelings, they naturally dissolve. The
Yeah.
resistance is what makes them stick.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Always.
Oh, yeah. If you take nothing else, release the resistance.
Yeah, yeah, honestly. Oh gosh.
We didn't
I
need to
just hand
talk
you
for an
the
hour
mic.
just to tell people to release the resistance.
Yeah, that But this is a whole process. That's the whole
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's so true. If there is one thing that you keep with you, not the
Yeah.
first time you hear that, if you've been on shift inside for some time,
Yeah.
the resistance. It's all about the
Release.
resistance and
And then don't
deciding.
believe everything you think. That's it. Those are the two.
Those are the two. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And check in with yourself, like which part are
Yeah.
saying which things.
Yes.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. And also as a way to, because we could speak for like
I know I could talk
way
to you
longer.
forever.
Definitely, especially when we have like the partner with whom we can really dive deeper.
Yeah.
But let's keep it. You can
Yeah.
always come for a part two. Who knows?
Yeah. I would love to.
um, yeah, that would be amazing. And yeah, how can people find you?
Oh
How
yeah.
can they work with you?
Oh
Tell
yeah.
us about
Okay.
your world.
Yeah. Okay. So I run a space called Good Enough Matrescence, which is for mothers. And I've got a lot of interest for fathers too. So in the future, it might morph to both. But at the moment, it's just for moms because I can't come from the father perspective. So for now, it's just for moms. But it's a space for moms to really learn how to regain their power and their empowerment. A lot of it is this nervous system work, the subconscious work, because then, like, we're not losing our cool on our kids all the time. And then we understand this and can translate this to our kids. And, but yeah, so I run a space called Good Enough Matrescence. It has a lot of this mind work, but then I also partner with a bunch of other people. So we have physical therapists and coaches and all sorts of people to help from fertility, pregnancy, birth, postpartum, beyond the fourth trimester, and then like children related things. So it's essentially a huge library of resources to help make your motherhood more fun and enjoyable. So you can find me at Good Enough Matrescence on Instagram or goodenoughmatrescence.com. And yeah.
I'll put the links. So people are not like, how do you spell it? No, it's
I
gonna
know.
be
I can try to
in the
spell it
notes.
on here. It is M. I am like a little dyslexic, so let's.
Don't worry, I will just put this in the description notes. Easy.
Okay.
People will be able to access that.
They'll be like, you spelled it very wrong.
But it's fine. She's cool with her subconscious mind.
Yeah.
She's gonna
Yeah.
be able to
It's
deal with
fine.
that. Feel the
Yeah.
feelings, chill.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And if you follow me, you will see I make typos and I don't care. So ugh,
Ta-da!
they happen. Because
Exactly, because she did her healing here.
I
She
did my
feels
healing. Yeah.
safe. Okay, oh my god, and a notification!
Those are
Yay for
notifications.
the end.
Yep.
I feel like they're saying goodbye as well. Like they
I
were
know.
present all the way. We
Yeah.
had like a
Don't forget
crazy
about
bump.
me. We've been notification cleared for a little bit, by the way.
Hey, hey, see? No, but they had to come in here to say goodbye at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that discussion so much.
Me
Honestly, I
too.
feel like the notification really helped.
I think
Like
so. I really
they
do.
created the vibe.
Yeah.
Amazing. So thank you so so
Thank
much.
you.
I'm so excited for yeah what you're bringing into the world because
Oh,
yeah
thank
the
you.
way we were talking I'm like yeah
Yeah.
she's doing the real stuff and we
We
need
got to
more
do it.
people doing that. Yeah,
Yeah. There are. We're all doing it. We're all helping.
we're all doing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but some people are more crazy than others. I would say maybe we are.
True.
True. I'm on that side. Okay, Sami, thank you again so so much. I'm definitely looking forward to have you in for another episode. That was
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Thank you
Notification or
so much.
without.
Yes. Thank you so much. I truly enjoyed it.
Yeah, and for you, the listeners, please let us know how that episode lands for you. What resonates? If you're as crazy as us, please let us know. We would
Yes.
love to have more friends we can connect
Yes.
with. More of the crazy friends, the weird people.
Yeah.
And otherwise, if you believe we are weird, then you believe we are weird. Fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Ciao. Bye.